What's up everyone, it's Ruby here, bringing you guys another video. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about theories revolving around Life is Strange True Colors. First of all, I want to give a disclaimer that this video will have major spoilers for Life is Strange True Colors. So, if you have not seen or played the last episodes, or the entire game in general, and you do not want to be spoiled, please go away. Click off this video, play the thing, because I'm going to delve all into it. You have about 5 seconds before I start talking about it. But first, let me just, because I don't want this to be the main focus, this gameplay. I will be playing some Arkinoid and the Mine Hunt during this discussion, but I don't want it to be the main focus. I want you guys paying attention to what I'm saying, basically. So Life is Strange True Colors. By now, if you guys are watching this, you know what happened. Jed is the villain, and he tried to kill us. And the thing that everyone is talking about is the fall damage, right? Because it's not like Alex just like tripped over the edge or anything. It's not like she, like, I don't know. She definitely like broke her back, okay? That fall, there's no way she got out of that fall without either breaking her spine or dying. And I think that's actually an interesting thing here, because we assume that Alex, of course, survived and we had a happy ending, and then that's that. But I was starting to think, is it possible that the entire last episode is actually Alex, like Alex is actually dead? Because it feels like it is all wrapped up in a nice little bow. You know, we get our revenge on Jed, we have our interaction with the townies, and we, for the most part, have our happy ending. But is Life is Strange really about happy endings? Since when? Since when has Life is Strange been about a happy ending? Since when do we get happy endings in Life is Strange? We don't. Okay, we just don't. In the end of Life is Strange 1, okay, Chloe either dies or the entire Arcadia Bay gets wiped out. In Life is Strange 2, the possibilities are Daniel goes away, and Sean is wanted by the FBI, and then there's also the possibility that Sean just goes to prison. And it feels like in this instance there is only a happy ending. You know, we either stay in Haven or we don't. We either, you know, go with our love interests or we don't. And it feels a little bit different from the other games. But what if, let's say, Alex didn't actually survive the fall? We assume that she did because we saw it with our own eyes. We assume that she survived because we literally saw her, like, walking out. But what's interesting is that for the first time, we actually see Alex talking to Gabe, who is definitely dead. I mean, we know that. Okay? We know that Gabe is dead, and he's not coming back. We had the thing about the coroner and everything, and he's dead. We know that. We know he's dead. So there is the possibility that Alex just has attuned her abilities to be able to just, you know, have a full-on conversation with Gabe, and maybe she even just, it's all in her head. Maybe that whole conversation is just in her head. That's what she thinks that Gabe would say. Or what if she's actually dead, and that entire sequence is Alex's coming to terms in her own head about what she thinks happens. Now, the ending of Life is Strange is very... it seems a little manufactured, right? There's no possibility in which you fuck up so badly that, you know, Jed doesn't get busted. Okay? Even the bad ending is basically nobody supports you. But he still confesses, because you still have that emotional moment between Jed and Alex where she's like, hey, yo, I know who you are. I know what you did. Even though these people don't believe me, I know what you did, and you know what you did, and, you know, I forgive you or I condemn you. So there's no real possibility of actually fucking up. Like, if you sign the affidavit or not, if you have Charlotte sign the affidavit or not, if you tell Eleanor or tell Riley about Eleanor's condition or not, there's no possibility in which you fuck up so badly that you get a terrible ending. You know, there's only a happy ending. The only possibility is that you end up alone without Steph or Ryan, or you just end up adventuring with them, which seems like an odd choice for Life is Strange. And maybe they thought, you know what, maybe we should have a happy ending where everything is just okay and no one can fuck up anything. But it seems like a little disheartening because of the fact that there is no way that you can possibly actually fuck up. It feels like all the choices that we make are now unneeded. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you fuck up, because it just ends up happy anyways. Which is why I think Alex is actually dead. I don't think that last half actually happened the way that Alex thinks it happens. I think that she needed to feel like Jed was, you know, I feel like she needed to think that she got her justice, that Jed was in prison or, you know, whatever, and that, you know, her brother was redeemed. Her brother was avenged. Her brother's death was avenged. But is that really the case of what actually happened? We know that Alex is very caught up in her emotions, and we know that throughout the entire thing, Alex is experiencing other people's pains, other people's emotions, other people's fears, whatever. But we don't really get to see what Alex is actually feeling. And through this entire thing, we don't know what Alex feels, the way that Alex feels. We can make up our minds by, you know, selecting choices, but we never know how Alex, the character, is actually feeling. We know how we feel about the situation, but we don't know how Alex feels. We just kind of assume based on context. And the only time that we ever get to see Alex's true emotions is when she's inside her head. That is the only time we ever see Alex have any sort of emotion, or at least that we see her emotions. We see her fear, we see her anger, we see her sadness. And yet, in the very end of the sequence, in the very end of the the final episode, we see that, you know, Alex has this very intense moment with Jed and with Jed and herself. And we see that she's kind of tuned to all of his emotions all at once. And that she is finally has control of her powers. That she finally understands how to use them. And she can finally, like, basically break Jed emotionally. But does that really happen? See, I've been thinking a lot since I played the final episode. And I feel like we don't actually get a happy ending. I feel like there's a big chance and a big possibility that Alex actually died. Like, Alex died at the end of the episode 4. Okay, and she's not coming back. And she's never gonna come back. And it's possible that nobody ever finds her body, because she's in the old mine. And everything that happens, that we think happens outside of her head, is actually just everything that happens inside of her head. So she's talking to Gabe. She's talking through this entire episode 5. She talks to Gabe. She talks to Gabe in her head. And we see this. And she continues to talk to Gabe, even outside of her head. Or at least what we assume is outside of her head. But here's the thing, okay? There's 100% evidence that Alex has broken her ribs. And she definitely has... There's no way she didn't paralyze herself when she fell. Because even if she was shot in the hand, like some people think, she still fell like 20 feet, okay? She did not have a graceful fall. I mean, you could argue that maybe the wooden planks, like, broke her fall, and she was able to survive that. But how was she able to climb all the way out of the mine? How? She definitely, like, broke her ribs. She definitely has, like, probably a broken spine. And somehow she's just okay. She's just fine. We never really address it ever again. In fact, by the end of the episode, her ribs seem perfectly fine, and she seems not to, except for like a few scars, she really doesn't have much from that day. And that's kind of interesting. And we see this moment on the rooftop with Gabe. Gabe, the same person who she wasn't able to talk to this entire sequence of events. And now she suddenly can. She suddenly has this connection with her brother. But what if the fact that we can see Gabe, and the fact that Gabe does exist, is actually evidence that she is dead? And that everything that happens is actually inside of her head. Now, we do have, obviously, the scenes with Ryan and Steph, if you choose to be with your partner. You know, we see that she has a genuine interaction with them. You know, we see how her story ends. We see how her story continues. So there is, obviously, canonically, she seems to be alive. And it's a likely sense that, canonically, she is alive. And that everything that I'm saying is just wrong. And I do believe that. I do think that maybe, I guess, for some reason, the devs decided to give us a happy ending, after all. And decided that there would be no real ability to have a sad ending. And yet, Life is Strange is all about, like, that there is no happy ending. I mean, you either fuck up Arcadia Bay, or you say goodbye to Chloe. Or you either, you know, get arrested, or you're a wanted fugitive for the rest of your life. And somehow, True Colors is the one that has the happy ending, despite the fact that, you know, Gabe died at the beginning of the story. It's like, why, though? Why does Life is Strange True Colors only have a happy ending? Why is there no bad ending to Life is Strange True Colors? Is it because that this entire thing is actually a bad ending and that actually Alex just died at the end of episode 4? Or is it possible that that they actually gave us a happy ending? Which one is more likely? Which one? Now, what? Now, I kind of feel like Alex is dead. I feel like Alex is dead. I don't know why, I just feel like Alex is dead. And it did get me thinking that, is there a possibility that Alex is actually just dead? That they actually just killed her and we just don't even know it? Because, I mean, that whole episode 4, I mean, she literally got shot and she fell, like, 20 feet. I don't even know how deep that mine is. But she definitely fell, like, a long way down. So she either died when she got shot, or she died from the fall. Or she just got paralyzed and she's just stuck at the bottom. But is there a real way that she actually survived at all? I mean, sure, we can suspend disbelief and think that, yeah, Alex is alive and we got our happy ending finally. You know, we got our gay representation, we got our happy ending, everyone's alive, you know, no one died except for Gabe. I don't know, I just have this feeling that maybe, just maybe, we were deceived. That actually Life is Strange True Colors does not have a happy ending. And the ending is that Alex is actually just dead. maybe that's like wishful thinking, maybe, or some sort. I mean, I don't wish that Alex is dead. I like Alex. I like what Erica Mori did with her character, but I mean, it's just kind of odd because every other, and now it's possible they just decided to do something different with this game, you know. They're like, you know what, let's maybe not kill this character, and maybe let's not have her go to jail, and maybe let's not have her be a wanted fugitive for the rest of her life. So perhaps Deck 9 was just like, yeah, maybe we go for the happy ending. And to be fair, I mean, Deck 9 is responsible for writing the happy endings. I mean, sort of. I mean, Chloe ends up with... But actually, even before the storm, you know, Rachel either severs relationships with her father, or she gets lied to by Chloe. and still she might not even, she won't be able to see her mom. And also there's also, you know, Mr. Jefferson and all of that. So even before the storm doesn't have a happy ending, really. I mean, we all know how that ends. So I was like, why is it True Colors that gets the happy ending? Does True Colors get the happy ending? I feel like there's a headcanon that Alex just died in episode 4, and that everything that happens in episode 5 is just all in her head. I feel like that's gonna be the headcanon. I mean oh god. I don't know. I mean, we never really got confirmation that Gabe died. The only confirmation was the coroner. And it's also possible that the coroner lied and Gabe's actually alive and Alex was the one who's dead. I thought for sure we would actually find Gabe down in the old mine, like either his corpse or him actually surviving at the bottom of the mine. But that didn't end up happening. Instead, we just, in our head, well, we found HN. I don't know. I feel like everything, like, there's no evidence that Alex died, okay? You're never gonna actually be able to prove that, because there's a lot of evidence that actually just contradicts that, because, I mean, we do have that sequence where, you know, where we do see her alive. You know, she's either working on her music, or she's in the record store, or whatever it is that ending that you got. So maybe she's not dead. Maybe we actually did just get a happy ending, and like that's kind of weird for Life is Strange. But I don't know. Maybe it's a good kind of weird. Maybe we did need the happy ending. It just, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Alex died? Do you guys think Alex died? Or do you think she's alive? Do you think we actually got that happy ending? I know there's a lot of people out there that actually think that she's dead, or they just don't believe that she survived that fall, or it was possible that she would survive that fall. And I kind of am on the same boat. Like, I don't really think that anyone can survive that fall. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Maybe there's a possibility. If anyone's a doctor watching this, I would love to hear your take on this. I don't know. Can you survive? Can you survive a fall after getting shot? Or at least, could she walk away? Could she walk out? Because I just feel like she should be paralyzed at least. I don't know. I just decided to, you know, share these thoughts because I have a lot of thoughts in my head about this game. I've been thinking a lot. Like how the fact that it's actually better if you have Charlotte sign the affidavit and then just keep her anger. Like, leave her alone. And she will actually support you, like fully support you. Which is actually a very interesting move from the devs. That's definitely intentional because nobody signed that affidavit. I mean, some people did. But so many people are like caught up in their own emotions about how they feel about Life is Strange. They don't see that actually signing the affidavit is good. And maybe that's a moral lesson for all of us. I mean, we all get caught up in our emotions. We react by our emotions, you know. However we feel, you know, that's what we're just gonna believe. And maybe that's not good for us, you know. And there's also the idea that maybe Alex just doesn't actually know people's emotions, and that what she believes is her power actually just stemmed from a lot of trauma, and, you know, maybe she does have some sort of, like, mental disorder or something, and that everything is just not how she sees it. It's just not the way that it is. And that's also an interesting idea, the fact that maybe Alex's power isn't actually real, and she doesn't know what everyone is feeling, and that somehow maybe she either just gets lucky, or, you know, just something's there, something's just not quite right. I mean, is she, like, there's a debate about whether she has a superpower or if she's just broken. Well, I don't think she's broken. But there is the possibility that the power that she has might not actually be real, and that it's all actually just in her head. But, I mean, I think that a lot of this is just, like, speculation. You know, none of this is ever going to be proven, unless, like, the devs, like, just outright say no, or yes. But I have a feeling that none of this is ever going to be proven. So don't even look for, like, yes, this could easily be debunked because we obviously see that Alex is very much alive in chapter 6 or 5, chapter 5. So, you know, and I don't think there's ever going to be an instance where they say, actually, Alex is dead. Alex was dead the entire time. Actually, she didn't even survive the explosion, like the initial explosion. She actually just died in the beginning of the episode, and Ryan didn't actually cut the rope. She just like died with Gabe. Now that would be an interesting idea. That Alex actually just died with Gabe, and that the true story, the real story is that Ryan and Steph both hallucinate the fact that Alex is still alive, and that Ryan actually feels guilty because he not only killed Gabe, but he actually just killed us too because he didn't cut the rope. Wouldn't that be interesting? Everyone's just crazy. Everyone's just crazy. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think? What do you guys think of the ending of Life is Strange? True Colors. Do you like it? Oh. Do you guys like the ending of True Colors, or do you think that maybe they copped out a little bit? I'm gonna fill up this entire water, I swear. I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. What do you guys think? Is Alex alive or is she dead? Part of me kind of thinks that she's dead. I mean, that's why I'm making this video. I feel like am I the only one that thinks she's actually dead? That she actually just died. Oh god. Oh god, I hate this. I'm also just addicted to these arcade games, by the way. I'm kind of like skeptical of the happy ending. It's like, is this really the happy ending? Did they really just give us a guaranteed happy ending? Or is there a catch-22 somewhere? Maybe Gabe was not even real. Maybe he never showed up. What if Gabe is just in Alex's head? What if I mean, there was also those people who were saying that this might have just been an elaborate prank. And that Gabe is actually alive and that Alex just fell for an elaborate prank and the whole town is in it. I've seen that theory. And it is kind of funny, like, thinking about, like, the possibility of it all just being just one giant prank. I feel like that's the director's cut, right? That's the cut that didn't make it. They're like, actually, you can't do this. What? That would be so fucked up. If the entire game was just one big prank. That would actually be kind of funny though, because it would be both pranking Alex and the player. Like, psych. Actually, Gabe is alive. Actually, this is just one big prank. Like when Diane's like, we don't mean to embarrass you, Alex, but instead of saying like, oh, you know, no one's gonna believe you and this is insane, it would be kind of funny if she was like, actually, Gabe isn't even dead, okay? Gabe's actually very much alive, and this was just one big prank, so... and the entire town was in on it. There was some wild theories though. Man. There's also talk about whether or not Jed is a predictable villain. I mean, there is the whole thing with the LARP and the fact that he is literally the villain. They were like, hello, he's actually a villain. And people pointed out like that how Jed like turned from hero, not hero, but like king to villain in the LARP. and that was, you know, foreshadowing. That kind of just flew over my head the first time, because I'm like, that's why I was surprised that Jed was the villain, because it just didn't process for some reason. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, my body kind of knew. Like, I feel like I kind of knew, but I just never acknowledged it. It was like I was in denial, because Jed was my father, or my father figure anyways. I mean, there is obvious evidence that Jed is the villain before it even is addressed. But it gets so clouded because you think that he's actually just a nice person. And that is your mistake. There is no nice people. There is no nice guy in Life is Strange. Now, what pissed me off a little bit is the fact that, well, it didn't piss me off, but like it just it's annoying because Ryan has a big possibility of just not believing you. And there's certain interactions that you have to do in order for Ryan to actually believe you. In fact, Ryan is actually the hardest one to get to believe you. Like, even if you choose to romance him, there's a big possibility that he won't believe you, and that he'll think that you're lying. Which I think is a very good choice from the devs, because it is realistic. I mean, this is literally Ryan's father, so of course he's not just gonna believe that his father just like is responsible for killing his best friend and also potentially killing his now girlfriend, and also potentially killing both his best friend and his girlfriend's now father. Like, of course he's going to be in denial about that. Of course he's not going to just believe that, especially since he had such a close relationship with his father from the get-go. Like, why would he believe that? It's easier for him to believe that Alex is just lying or trying to prank him in some way. So it does make sense as to why he doesn't believe us, but it is kind of annoying. I mean, it's like, come on, Ryan, why would I lie about this? So, like, literally, why would I just, like, beat myself up to look like I died just so that, just for, like, what, a prank or whatever? It's just like, come on, Ryan, just use your 2 brain cells and just understand, okay? Why would I make this up? And then there's also the dilemma of, should we forgive Jed? Now, I didn't forgive Jed, okay? In my playthrough, I did not forgive. In my first playthrough, I did not forgive Jed at all. Because I mean, I'm a person of forgiveness, but I don't think that Alex would forgive him. Because, one, he's responsible for killing her brother. He's also responsible for killing her father. And he's also responsible for killing her, or at least trying to. I mean, if we were to believe that she's alive and she did not die, he still killed her. He still tried to kill her, and that was for me like, well, dude, you tried to kill me, and not only that, but you tried to lie about it too. It's like if he was sorry and he just like admitted it and he was like, I did it, I'm sorry, that's a whole different ballgame. But he didn't apologize. he didn't. I mean, saying I forgive you is definitely a power move from Alex. Like, you did all these things, and I understand, and I forgive you. That is definitely a powerful thing. It is a power move. And I love that. I love that they make that an option, because it's so powerful. It's like, you made me suffer. You're the reason my father's dead. You're the reason my brother is dead. But I forgive you. It's like, wow. Damn. Alex is strong. Like, her mom's right. Alex is like so strong. And I love that. I love this game, by the way. I feel like Life is Strange True Colors is definitely the best game in this series so far, in the franchise so far. Regardless of whether or not we actually got a happy ending, or if it's actually just a hidden bad ending. I do enjoy this game. Do not get me wrong. This game is just so beautiful. It is so beautiful. It is so well done. Deck 9 really nailed it. Really, really nailed it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I've played it so many times. As you can see, I'm addicted to the arcade games, and there is no doubt in my mind that they did a wonderful job with this game, regardless of the theories, regardless of the criticisms. I do think that this game is a beautiful, beautiful game. I mean, just the graphics alone, the whole 3D animation, the whole mocap stuff, it is so beautiful. And they had tremendous voice acting. I mean, they all have great voice acting, but this one in particular. And the script, the writing, the dialogue, all fantastic. Fantastic. I dare say I would give this game a 9.9 out of 10. And y'all know I never do that. I am not one who gives out 9s generously. I don't think I've ever given another game a 9.9. Maybe I have, I don't know. But it's just so good. It's just, there's a lot of options, and there's a lot of moral dilemmas, and sometimes the right answer isn't so obvious, like the fact that actually having Charlotte sign the affidavit is actually the better option, because it shows that your loyalty is with Ethan, and regardless of what she says, Charlotte loves Ethan, okay? Yes, she's angry at him because he's the reason that Gabe's dead, but Ethan is her son, okay? Regardless of how she feels in that moment, she's always gonna love her son. And putting Ethan before anyone else is how you, before anyone or anything else, is how you gain her loyalty. She believes that you are her friend. You can actually tell whether or not you have someone's loyalty, because I've noticed that the people who are loyal to you will give you gifts. They actually give you gifts. Like, they're like, here's this sculpture, or here's this thing. Like, Ducky will give you like a chipmunk. I forget what Eleanor gives you. I forget if Eleanor gives something because of her loyalty. I know Charlotte does. Charlotte gives you a shooting star, like the sculpture that is similar to your tattoo, which I think is wonderful. Like, if you have her sign the affidavit, she'll give you a shooting star, or a rising star, or a falling star. The same tattoo that is on Alex's wrist. And that's just amazing. I love the fact that they made it so that signing the affidavit is actually the better option. Whoa. I've never seen this one before. It just shows like how they knew it. They know that people are going to not sign that thing. But they knew it. Like, they're like, you know what? People are not going to do this. So let's make this actually the better option. Because why not? Dude, I keep beating my own high score. What the fuck? Look at this. Look at this. I keep beating my own high score. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think Alex is actually alive? Do you think she died? You know, what do you think? And what do you think of the ending? Just what do you think? What are you thinking of the game? Did you love the game? Did you hate the game? You know, what did you think? I would love to hear your opinion. But anyways, that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out, guys. It's been a blast.